Hello everyone, welcome into Above My Pay Grade. My name is Eric. Thanks for tuning in. If you could hit that like button, hit subscribe, really helps out the channel and, believe it or not, helps this mustache grow nice and thick. Okay, a bit of a rant today, some food for thought. I was thinking the other day about how people used to live. And if they didn't hunt, grow their own food, they wouldn't survive. Right? So they had to go forage for their own food, hunt, yada, yada, yada. And in that kind of economy, microeconomy, things made a lot of sense. You have to go do this task in order to eat, in order to survive. However, what's the difference between that economy and today's economy? Obviously, we have a massively huge economy and we use dollars now, and there's diffusion of labor, meaning you can specialize in something and you don't have to be subsistence. But the reality of having to go do work in order to produce is still the same. And yet, we think as a country, and central planners think, somehow printing money fixes that issue. Somehow printing money means you don't have to go out and hunt, metaphorically speaking. And so if you were to tell these subsistence, people who live by subsistence back in the day, hey, we're going to put a pause on you going to work and storing up stuff for the winter, they might ask you, hey, wait a second, why are we doing this? Because we won't be able to eat this winter. We won't be able to survive. We won't have enough firewood, yada, yada, yada. And yet, today, our economy was locked down. People were locked in a cage, whether you agreed with it or not. And yet, they pretend that same reality of we won't have the stuff to survive doesn't exist today. And it still does. And so they print paper and think the reality of needing stuff in order to survive doesn't exist today. And it doesn't matter how many pieces of paper you have. If you're on a deserted island with a billion pieces of a billion currency units, does it mean you're rich or poor? Right? You're poor. You can't buy anything. And until we get wise to the idea as voters that you cannot pull value from the future and spend it in the present and that not have consequences, we're going to continually have politicians that do it. And that same reality of, hey, I won't have stuff this winter if I don't go and work, applies today. We just pretend it doesn't by papering over it, which causes what we're experiencing today, inflation. It is pretty simple when you think about it. And if you have more currency units than you need to spend that month, that is you storing your labor for the future. It is not pulling your labor from the future to spend in the present like the government does all the freaking time. Beatings will continue until morale improves, unfortunately, with government spending. Until we get wise to the reality that we are still in a subsistence economy to some degree. We have to do the work in order to get the stuff in order to survive. And Europe's learning that the hard way when it comes to energy and food and yada, yada, yada. We cannot just print currency units and things magically appear. It just doesn't happen. It just frustrates me. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments. See you guys in the next one. Peace.